안녕하세요! You're watching Learn with Eman. And for today's lesson, we're going to tackle about... Tagal naman. Click mo na, bilis. Ayan. Sex, gender, and sexuality. Ano ang pagkakaiba-iba nila? So, ay, tika kasi salamin ko. Wait, salamin ko. Okay. So, for this topic, we're going to answer number 1, what is sex? It's not the act, ha? Okay. Number 2, what is gender? Ano nga ba yun? And number 3, what is the difference between sexual orientation, gender identity, gender role, and gender expression? So, before we proceed, let's have some diagnostics. I invite you to complete the following statements. Para mabasahin ko lang to, ano? I think girls are... What do you think? I think boys are. I think girls should. Should what? I think I think boys should. Others think that girls should. And last, others think that boys should. Should do what? What do you think? Okay. After yung magulo mong isip, nakapag-desisyon na, what probably lead you to these ideals of boys and girls? Well, to answer that question suggests that we investigate the culture kung nasan kang, kung anong kultura mo. Asan ba tayo? But first, you must understand the complexities of defining and differentiating sex, gender, and sexuality. So, let's proceed now with the definition. Okay. Particularly in the Philippines, we have a construed understanding of sex and gender. Kasi, ang ating language, pag sinabing sex and gender, sinasabi lang na kasarian. Unlike in English na may difference talaga. So, kaya tinanong ka kung anong kasarian mo, you'll probably say that you're a male or a female or probably lesbian or gay. But no one should answer single married. Diyos ko, maawa ka naman. Okay, next. So, according to UNESCO, sex describes the biological differences between men and women which are universal and determined at birth. Sige na, para mabasa ko ng bilisan ko. While gender refers to the roles and responsibilities of men and women that are created in our families, our societies, and our culture. Ang dami-dami niya sinasabi. Basically, ang gusto lang niya sabihin, kapagka sex, it's defined at birth. Kumbaga, kapagka ikaw ay, pag may nakalawit, lalaki ka. Kapag ka nakaikom, babae ka. Sorry I don't mean to offend anyone. Okay. Kumbaga, parang kung may tahong si Carla, may talong si Carlo. Ganon yun. Okay, next. Pakibilisan, ma'am. Kasi kasama ko ngayon si Ma'am Mildred. Check, taga-click ko. So, sexuality, on the other hand, is the totality of our of our own experience of sex and gender. So, para sa mga visual learner, eto yon. Ayan. Don't worry, i-send ko naman ito sa mga estudyante ko, sa iyo. Kaya lang kailangan lang ng konting elaboration ba? Okay. Next. Alam mo, next time bibili ako ng clicker para hindi ako nagsasabi ng next na ano. So, malabo pa rin ba? Ganito yon. Ay, sinasabi ko kanina. Ay, ano? You see? Oh. Kaya nag-euphemize lang ako kasi baka mamaya ma-report ako. Pero mas mahaba pa yung disclaimer ko kaysa sa explanation. So, kapag ka naman gender, social dimension. Socially constructed. Well, sa next topic, mababanggit natin kung bakit merong socially constructed ang gender. So, typically, may tatlong pumapaloob dito. Gender identity, gender role, at gender expression. Anong ibig sabihin ng tatlo na yon? Pag sinabi natin gender identity, it refers to one's personal experience of gender or social relations. Paano ba nakikita ang sarili mo? How do you see yourself? A person could identify as masculine or feminine. And basically, this is about how you see yourself. Ganun lang kasimple. Gender expression, on the other hand, refers to how one expresses his or her sexuality through actions or manner of presenting oneself. So probably, isa kang lalaki pero medyo flamboyant, kumbaga malambot ba? But society thinks you're acting gaya ng isang babae. Or probably, you identify yourself as female pero naka-army cut ka, naka-t-shirt ka. Yun yung gender expression. Pwede rin namang you identify yourself as female, nagsusuot ka ng palda, nagpapariband ka, kaya nga naubos yung ayuda mo, di ba? Diyos ko naman, Mars! So, tagal talaga ng click natin. O kaya, identify mo sarili mo as lalaki, nag-gym ka, nagsusuot ka ng boxers, briefs, just yung skinny jeans, talagang parang puputok ka na, parang kang longganisang kabanatuan, gano'n. That's gender expression. How do you express yourself? Paano ka, parang nakakatantamount lang, gender expression, express. It's how you act, the manner, and kung paano ka nagbibihis, lahat, andun na yun. Gender role, on the other hand, is about how society expects you to behave. May expectation na yung society. So this becomes more complex because expectation ay pabago-bago per kultura. And this set of behaviors that make females and males behave distinctively from each other are aligned with their biological sex. Kaya ikaw, makikita mo, yung babae, dapat ganito mag-act. Yung lalaki, dapat ganito mag-act. Kasi, yun yung expectation ng society. Naintindihan mo yung sinasabi ko? Okay. Good. If you go against it, dapat talaga may clicker na ako. If you go against it, you'll be a deviant. Ano ang deviant? Search mo na lang. Kung di mo alam. So, this phenomenon of determining the normality of a behavior based on whether it conforms or not to the expectations relative to one's biological sex is referred to as heteronormativity. Napulog yata ako. Heteronormativity. Okay. In our Filipino culture, ang babae expected na gentle, caring, loving. Kung paano ko nagsasalita, ganun ba yung kailangan yung dahan-dahan lang, ganun. While boys should be strong, rough, and assertive. This expectation extend to how men and women are expected to behave. Halimbawa, pipili ka ng college course. Pagka babae, nag-criminology, ano sasabihin? T-bird? Tibok? Ay. Pagka lalaki, kumuha ng ano bang course na Di pa naman ako parang hindi naman ako napapahiya dito.
Education.
Nag-teacher. Bakit meron ka agad question sa sexuality, sa gender. Okay. Next. Kaya nga, ito, pag babae ka, sinabi magpupulis ka, kababae mong tao. That term, kababae. O kaya lalaki, sumali sa beauty pageant. Pare, di ba parang pambakla lang yun? And this is the reason why boys are not allowed to play dolls and girls must not play toy guns. Bang, bang. Kasi tutuksan sila, ay naglalaro ng Barbie. Kalalaking tao, Barbie. Diyos ko, natatawa ako. Nakita nyo, kasi ganun yung kultura natin eh. O kaya, nakakita ng magulang, hawak-hawak ng babae niyang anak, yung baril-barilan. Bitawan mo nga yan, anak. Tibo ka ba? At naglalaro ka ng baril-barilan. So, it has roots in our anthropology. Yun ang dahilan. And to further prove this gender role socialization na sinasabi ko sa iyo, let's analyze this. Madali lang. Huwag ka muna mag-next. Huwag ka muna mag-next. What is the gender of this child? Pakita. Ayan, nawala ito ni momentum kasi ikaw eh. Si Ma'am Mildred yung may kasalanan nun. You'll probably say, ay lalaki kasi kulay blue. Next. How about this? Ay babae kasi kulay pink. Sabi ng research, sige, yun kasi pareho lang yun na bata. Pinagkaiba lang ng kulay. Blue and pink. So, boy and girl infants are treated differently by adults from the way they are dressed to the toys they're given to play with and are expected to act differently. That's according to Thor 1993. In one experiment, adult subjects were asked to play with a small baby who was dressed in either pink or blue, yung kanina. The subjects assumed that the gender of the infant by the color of its clothes and acted accordingly. Kapag lalaki, hinawakan ni baby less gently and talk in a louder, parang ang OA ko, louder voice. So, aren't you a big, strong boy? Rising intonation, ha? English naman. When they thought it was a girl, kasi naka-pink, they held the baby closer to themselves, ganyan, and spoke more softly. Hindi, bulong pala yan. Spoke more softly. Okay. What a sweet little girl. So, in both cases, it was actually the same baby. Yung sinasabi ko kanina. Only the color of the clothing was changed. So, from this experiment, we can see now how gender influences the way that we perceive and interact with others at a very early age. So, let's proceed now with sexual orientation. I hope di pa kayo inaantok. Come on, bilis! Okay. Sexual orientation, this is the aspect of our gender that pertains to our emotional and sexual attraction to a person. Sabi ng PAP, o PAP tuloy, Philippine Psychological Association of the Philippines. Yung mga 6 to 8 daw, karaniwang nakakaranas ng nakakapag-develop na ng attraction to other people. Kaya, okay, I'm back. So, sabi ko nga, kaya, by adolescence, alam na nila kaagad kung kanino sila attracted at kanino sila makikipagrelasyon. Everyone's sexuality is different and deeply personal. So, we have some few common terms na pwede natin gamitin. Ano yun? That people who are attracted to the opposite sex, they are called heterosexuals or straight. People who are attracted to the same sex are usually called homosexual, gay, or lesbian. But when you talk about homosexual kasi na term, it's something medical term na ginagamit before. Some books or researchers nagsasabi na, tapos hindi ko sinayad kung anong research, so anong book. Napaka non-academic yung dating ano. Anyway, sinasabi na that is a discriminatory term. But anyway, you can use gay or lesbian. Bisexual or bi, people are attracted to both sexes, male or female. Pareho. And LGBTQIA+ refers to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community. Tulad nga ng sabi ko, it's diverse and complex. Kaya usually pag tinanong mo yung kaibigan mo kung ano yung sexual orientation niya, alin lang yan sa nabanggit ko kasi mahirap magpaliwanag. So, usually, sa ating Filipino, alin lang sa 4 na yon. Kasi ayaw naman natin sabihin mo halimbawa, I'm pansexual. Sabihin na, ha? What? Pansexual? Ano ba yun? Well, sabihin mo na, pansexuality is sexual, romantic, or emotional attraction towards people, regardless of their sex or gender identity. It's like, I'm gender blind. Kasi gender and sex for me is not a determining factor. Tapos determining factors. Ano ba naman to? I-edit nga natin to. in a romantic or sexual relations to others. Sasabihin niya, so, you mean you're bi or bi-curious? You see, after mo magpaliwanag na parang kang Google na this is pansexuality, but in the end, hindi pa rin na-gets. Kasi nga, andun lang yung alam natin, yung nagsasurface lang, yung usually sa apat. So, madami pa talagang kailangang ipaliwanag at tungkol dito. So, you see how the conversation goes like? And that's the reason why most people tend to label themselves only as hetero, homo, or bi. Because telling beyond those labels seems like adding a psychedelic things. Okay, in summary, the complexities of the human sexuality can be quite overwhelming. Overwhelming naman talaga. And we need to look at our own experience on our journey of discovering our sense of being a man and a woman for us to understand others. We also need to engage in conversations with others for us to appreciate the many different phases of human sexuality. A baby is born and is given an assigned sex based on its genitals. In toddler years, they are raised to be a man or a woman based on accepted social and cultural standards. And we know that these standards change through time. What is not acceptable now may be acceptable in the near future. Adolescence is when we discover our emotional and sexual attraction towards the other people. And for most, it's easy to identify who they are attracted to. But for others, it can be a long and difficult process. So, fostering an inclusive environment wherein everyone feels safe is very important at this age. Huwag mo na yung optional. Yun yung activity nyo kasing gagawin mamaya. Kaya ibalik mo na dyan. Ayan. So, dito nagtatapos yung ating topic. Pero syempre, pakita naman natin references. Baka nasabi, nag-invento ako eh. Okay, tatakpan ko na lang yung optional. Come on. Bilisan mo. Hindi ko kasi na-edit eh. Ayan. These are my references. Ayan. Tada! I hope you enjoy the lecture. See you soon. Ay, by the way, never stop learning because learning happens anytime, anywhere. Bye-bye!